What's up, traders? This is Matt with Conservative Trades. Hope everybody's doing all right today. We are ending the day up $148.29. Pretty good day in the markets today. And after fees and commissions up, a good bit over $100. We really didn't trade too much. You can see only 2,600 shares traded, and didn't fill out too many tickets here. So today's a good day. It's a good day. There were definitely some things that I wish I had kind of gotten in on. But the markets were pretty interesting today. For those of you who have been tuning in, you know that I keep the XLF, the financial sector, the tech sector, and the SPY up on another monitor. And I was monitoring all of them today, and there was a point in the day today where they all just really started to tank. And it was early morning. It started somewhere around 10 o'clock. And then, of course, it kind of reversed right around the 11:30 time frame, and it's kind of been slowly coming up ever since. So but and I think there was some news. I can't really remember. I'm so bad when it comes to the fundamentals. A lot of times when I get my watch list ready in the morning, I run through FinViz, I run through a ton of different headlines, and I only really pay attention to the stocks that I'm going to be watching that day, or maybe like the one or two top stocks. I'll kind of make a stronger mental note about what the news catalyst might have been that day or whatever. But you know what, that's one thing that I really appreciate about our live stream, because we've got people in the live stream that are on top of it. I mean, they're on top of it, and they're really good about tracking with the news, and whenever something big hits, or whatever. You know what, I think I just remembered what it was. Something about Trump having to give over his tax records or whatever. So anyway, apparently, I think someone was saying that's what was causing the dump. Of course, I'll have to go back and kind of check on all that, and see what else might have happened today as well. But that might have been the only thing. I don't know. But anyway, it doesn't even matter. One thing that I think I would like to focus on today is the fact that this is a proven concept here in day trading. You'll hear a lot of day trading gurus talk about this. They say if you can keep your winners big and your losers small, you'll be right. You don't even have to be right all the time. And so if you really just look at it like this, now it's not like I just took one trade each on here, okay? I traded ROKU, for example. I traded it multiple times, and I was even wrong a couple times. But if we just took this as though I traded the three separate trades, you can see that you could be wrong 2 out of 3 times. But if you're right on that third time, and your profit to loss ratio is big enough, you'll do just fine. Okay, and so this is a huge factor in trading. I think it's something that is very underrated, and I think that the more that we as traders can focus on this sort of thing, the easier it will be for us to take those losses when we have to take those losses. Okay, and so I had a really small loss on UAL, I had a really small loss on BBBY, Bed Bath and Beyond, and I had a really nice move on ROKU. And actually, this was almost a $200 move at one point, or I had almost $200 in profit worked up on ROKU, but I gave a little bit back on a small trade that I took over here later in the afternoon. And so, it goes to show you can be wrong multiple times, but when you're right, if you can be really right, and when you're wrong, if you can just be slightly wrong, then you'll do fine. You'll do fine. So that's kind of what it's all about. But I will go over the trades today real quick here and try to make this video shorter than it needs to be. But so let me pull out my studies here, show my executions so you can see. Now, first for trade of the day was, I believe, on BBBY, and I was kind of looking to catch a falling knife, but it wasn't random. It wasn't random. I was looking at, excuse me, I'll have to go on the daily chart here. I was looking at the daily chart, and I was looking at right here, right around the 839 levels, down even here to the the 810 levels. I was thinking, this might be a good place where we could get a turnaround, or the 823 level. Sorry, I wasn't going all the way down to 810. I thought it could maybe go all the way down to 810, but I was looking, anywhere between 820s and 830s. And so you can see here on the 5-minute chart, I took my first right here at 849. I just went ahead to scale in, and the reason I did that is because this first daily target right here at 839, sometimes stocks will come down and they'll almost touch it, but they won't quite touch it, and they'll keep going. And other times stocks will blow through it, they'll come down and then go up. And so I just figured, let me just get in with 100 shares. Oops, sorry, let me make that chart big again. I thought to myself, let me just get in with 100 shares, and I'll just add if it comes all the way down. And I did. And you can see I went back in here. I added back in at 827, so that brought my average up, and it came up. There were a couple wicks knocking it down, came down here, but then got bought right back up. And so when on this candle, it opened up right here. It started to come down, but I went ahead and got in and brought my average down even just a little bit lower. For some reason, I sold a little right there. I really don't know why I did that, but I sold a little right there. And when it came up and started breaking this high, I really thought we were going to break through VWAP and get a nice reversal, and so I added again. But here we got a really strong VWAP projection. You can see it popped out just above it, opened here and popped up and looked like it was going to continue to go. And I was going to start piecing out as we got to the 9 EMA. I was going to just start taking off, 100 shares at a time all the way up to the 20. But it's got a major rejection here. I went ahead and sold out some here, and when it came all the way down here, I went ahead and sold out again because this was, this is a bearish engulfing candle, and I didn't know. I thought maybe it's just going to go, from here, but it did. It ended up just kind of teetering around these levels, came up all the way up again, and then eventually just started selling off. So just had an NVAX alert go off. Let me look at NVAX real quick, see what's happening here. This might be a good pullback strategy here. I would like to get in at 96, maybe 96.60 with 100 shares. All right, anyway, this ain't going to make it up to my profit target. I'm just going to keep it moving here. Okay, where was I? So anyway, so that was the trade on BBBY, and let's take a look at UAL. You can see here, this one annoyed me. This one annoyed me because this was right around the time, I told you, it was right around the 10 o'clock hour when the markets really started tanking. Like all the markets were coming down, and wouldn't you know, the stock that I got in on was just hovering around. And it just wasn't dropping, and if you come down here on the 1 minute chart, it might be a little more difficult to see. But you can see, I got in here and it was popping up. And, all this time, all the other markets are dropping. They're just dropping. They're just getting the drop. And UAL is just staggering around here. Finally looks like it's going to start to go and follow the market, but immediately gets a pullback and shoots back up and stops me out. You can see I had my stop up over this level right here. So, and I hate that. And look, even as the markets continue to drop, UAL, for some reason, it just continued to get bought up. And then finally ends up dropping all the way down here. And we got a good $1.50 move. And so it's just so annoying on UAL. But you know what? Like I said, this is what happens. When you stick to your stops, you got to stick to your stops. You've got to, keep those stops in place. And yes, looking back in hindsight, yes, I should have let the trade work itself out. I mean, heck, I should have added to the trade, but you never know. You never know what's going to happen. And with a stock like this remaining strong while the whole rest of the market's plummeting, I mean, what if the market, just all of a sudden took a hard reversal to the upside? I mean, I'm sure UAL would have just skyrocketed. And so I'm glad I traded it that way. Again, it's being a good trader it's not about how many times you're right. Okay, it's about how well you can manage risk when you're wrong, and how well you can let those winners run when you're right. Okay, and so that's what I did today. So coming over here to ROKU, looks like a Christmas tree. I'm sure you've heard a lot of traders say that before, but I love it because this was the perfect pullback trading strategy. I went ahead and got in here, and I really thought, because I saw these wicks here, and I really thought, man, this is it. This is going to get slammed down here, but it started coming up. I pieced out just some of my shares. I didn't get out the full position. I pieced out just some of my shares right here, and I held on to some, and as it started to come back in, I averaged back in again, and as it broke this level, I averaged back in again and immediately started taking profit. I kind of regret that because I wish I had just waited for the 9 EMA to be my first profit target. I would have done much better on that trade, but I took profit, pieced in all the way down here. You can see I got in another I added in again in anticipation of the break of VWAP, took a little of those shares off as it came up. I added in again, and I added in again. I just continued to average in. And then as it rolled over, I started piecing out, started averaging in again, all the way up here on a nice pullback, and got out here and got out again here. And then I started averaging in again, and I can't remember where my average was, but once it started coming back up here, I had to take a little bit of a loss. But I love this move here because it came back and was double topping, and I went ahead and just took a quick scalp again, just on the pullback move. Why did I do this? Number one, it's double topping. Number two, on the daily, these were also some critical levels. You know, we were reaching more critical levels the closer we got to 145. Plus, I was watching the overall markets, the broader markets, and they looked like they were about to have a pullback. We had a nice little 4-candle run up here, so it was due for a little bit of a pullback. I kind of wish I had waited for it to come back to the 9 EMA, but really good move right there. And then up here, got in again just for a small scalp. I wish I'd been more patient. Got a little scalp here. Wish I'd been a little more patient on that one. And then this last attempt I took right here, just a very small share size, like 25 shares, and I just put my stop over high day, and it got me out. And so anyway, you know, and again, you know, this is one of those times where it's like, man, it got me out, and then it ended up rolling over. But anyway, guys, today was overall, it really was a good day, and I'm pretty happy with the trades, and we'll be back here tomorrow, and hope that if you're new to the channel, you'll consider subscribing and maybe even consider liking and commenting, and let me know if you're new to the channel. And please consider joining us in the live stream. We do trade live right here on the channel Monday through Friday, beginning roughly around 9 a.m. And to all my regulars, looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.